Hey, everybody, this is Lisa with the She Is Movement, founder and author of Conquered for Me. And today we have Crystal Garcia, who had a chapter in the book of She Is, Volume 1. Super excited. So you can get this on Amazon, also online on the website. So we had a lot of contributors in the chapters for this, and I'm so thankful for Crystal for she just began telling some of her story in this, and it was a huge inspiration. I was super thankful to be able to get the opportunity to help her share this. Does disclosure that there is some sensitive content in this book.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I am here in Henderson, Florida, born and raised in Colorado. I met Lisa a while back, and we have been just connecting on a friend level, on a business level, and we've grown a lot together. And I really want to thank her for allowing me to be in this book because she has allowed me to heal some of the things, from my past and be able to open up about it in this chapter, which was a really big step for myself because I am very private and I really don't talk about a lot of my past. I'm trying to focus on the future. But in order to move forward, some things we do need to heal. And I felt that I was like repeating these cycles. And so ever since I've been utilizing this chapter to express myself and let go.
But this really helped me. This She Is Volume 1 on Amazon. It's definitely a lot of inspiration for me to keep going, to keep moving forward, to be with other like-minded individuals and explain how it was an opportunity. I was very thankful to be able to share your story and help you with that because it means a lot to be able to heal and let the world know it's okay.
Right, exactly.
In the chapter, it was a lot, about what happened and just your mom passing and everything, and then the situation with the car incident and the drinking and all that. So where you are today from that?
You know what? It's like a journey, Lisa. And I really want to encourage like others, women survivors out there to get connected with people who are going to help you heal from the journey that you guys have been on. I have to say that I took in a lot of resources that people have given me. And at times I never took them, and I thought I could figure it out on my own. But I definitely feel like, having that support system has allowed me to like heal through the trauma and move forward and not be stuck in those environments and not those places that I love that outside. So yeah, so grateful that, I became and I kept fighting and I never gave up.
Yeah. In the intro to Crystals, it's turning trauma into power, pain into power. I just want to read this first part: turning pain into pressure, validating that pain and turning it into something beautiful. Trauma makes you feel like what's next, constantly trying to figure out how to not fall behind. And working helps me elevate and self reflect. So you're still working hard, you're still pushing, you're not giving up.
My routine, my schedule is plays a big part in this. I got experts, I couldn't do this alone. I got people that constantly pushing me forward and just keeping me on track because it's easy for life to get comfortable and us to, fall into those old habits. I definitely have to say that it's a lot of mentorship. Took me a lot to take in, to be accountable, to look at myself and not bring everybody else also, and just grow and learn. Yeah much knowledge as you can.
Yeah. So I also wanted to touch on this in the book. It says, I felt guilty when I left throughout the years of them trying to keep my son from me. It made me feel like I was the problem, like I was the bad mom. It became a repetitive cycle of abuse. They were able to continue because I was not being heard, seen, or protected by these broken systems. And that was back in 2010 when all began in that vicious cycle. So here we are in 2026. What do you feel today? How have you been able to cope and kind of heal from that feeling of the shame, the guilt, when you know that that's just a lot of cognitive dissonance and the part of that abuse? What have you done in your self care to remind yourself like you're a good mom and your sons didn't deserve that? You didn't deserve that. What would you say to another mother going through this?
You know what? Keep fighting because no matter, I'm a firm believer that no matter who's against you, God is going to be for you. And if God's for you, like, it doesn't matter who how many people stand up against you? You know what I'm saying? So right now, possible guilt trip, I learned a lot, in this practice, being accountable and looking at myself and knowing that I've done everything right and, staying positive and not letting any negative switch my mindset and allowing it to make it become their narrative, my story, just having boundaries and just not entertaining none of that stuff. People talk all day long. People are always going to have something negative to say. And so, like, I have learned to block it out. I've done a lot of self reflection and just being alone and just working on myself to know that when I'm doing everything good for myself, nobody's opinion is going to bother me because I know how I'm moving, how I'm thinking. I know my intentions up here. I feel like it doesn't really matter at that point. I can't guilt trip myself when I'm doing everything I need to be doing. And so I just know that things are going to work itself out. So I just keep pushing, keep fighting, girl. Honestly, you said it great.
Exactly. That's really all you can do. And I also have boys too, as you know, and mine are a lot younger. I say to you all the time, I don't know how you were able to do what you've done because for me, even when my little baby was taken when I went to Florida, that literally made me crazy. I don't even say it's mindset. It's really willpower to have the stability and the intellectualness of if I do something horrific to this person, then I'm not gonna see my baby anyway.
Yes.
That's the thoughts for me. I'm gonna do whatever I can to get my baby back. And that's what we all think, right? But then is if we're locked up or if we're dead, we're not gonna see our baby regardless. So I pray on you because that's hard.
Parenting is one of the hardest jobs out of my jobs I do because you do have times where you're feeling triggered and you're like, all the bullshit aside, sometimes you do just forget about all the hard work and things you built because you're just caught up in your emotions. But once you learn how to distill your emotions and really think things through and not react right away, you can see the outcome. Sometimes you gotta strategize your next move. You know what I'm saying? I'll let everybody know.
That's what those abusers and these people who want to exploit our children against us, they're good at provoking. And so it takes practice. It takes practice of radical acceptance and then just grieving too, because now today you have your boy, he's older, right? So he's not a little baby, but he's older. And from what I've seen is that he sees you and you guys have a great relationship when you guys are together.
Our relationship is perfectly amazing together, and that's because people always want to interfere, and then it just causes a lot of emotions for a young teen, and they're only gonna choose what, it's easier to most with stuff like 10 people versus one. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I want to talk about a little bit. So with your daughter today, if you have a daughter, what have you done different? What do you feel that you've done different than with your boys?
Definitely, it's the structure because, I'm not gonna lie, my mom was working so much and I realized, I became repeating that cycle, that I want to work to survive, to take care of these kids, that we have to live to work 24/7 to be able to give them the life to live, and be able to cover bills and have all that, but, I definitely learned to schedule time out just for my family because time is precious. We can't get it back, and so not always working around the clock and actually knowing around the kids' schedule and prioritizing them and, their needs. And so I don't think it was never that I wasn't prioritizing it. It was just life and me being a single mom, not getting help. I don't get child support. Kiddos, everything I do is all of me. So it gets challenging at times. Kids get expensive. They always want the most expensive things. And as parents, we want to give that.
And so you were the youngest of four children and your sister was the oldest, and you have experienced a lot of grief as you're talking about your chapter, your sister passing away, your mom passing away, and that is so hard today. What do you tell to your kids to understand that you guys gotta have each other because you came from four siblings? How do you teach them how to have each other's back and stuff?
Honestly, I pray a lot with them and I always just remind them that your family is your biggest private joy. You guys gotta pour into each other because you gotta stick together. Don't let people come in your circle and start, making you guys fight and doing all that because once they see that do that, they're gonna continue to do that. And so, I always tell my kids, like, no matter what, it's you guys need to stick together with each other, like you guys are family and you love each other, And so my sister, she was the oldest and stuff, and she taught us a lot. We learned a lot from her. Me being the sibling, the youngest of them, I have to prepare mistakes. And so I really do take in a lot of what I see them doing wrong, you know what I'm saying? And so keeping those traditions strong with kids is very important. I learned but just it with family in general. Like I said, grief is not an overnight thing. It's a process. And 15 years pounds been gone, and I'm still learning how to deal with it. The first 5 days, I was just working, working, working. Having a tough time to take the break and really take anything in how I felt with all that. And so this book has been my biggest step for myself. And I'm glad that you have been such a great teacher, allowing me to be seen, say, and be heard and express myself in the right way. So
Thank you so much. That means to me. That's my goal, right? Because it is isolating.
grief is an emotional roller coaster. It's the
It
I
is.
went to that emotional state where I was just angry at everything, and then I finally just broke after that. You go through like a nanny phase, then you go through a confusion phase, a lost phase, and then you're hitting this phase where you're angry, sad, and it's just like you start crashing it. So, which
Yeah.
I hate that crash. This time I was just wanted to heal. I wanted to do the work. I didn't want to be angry no more. I just wanted to be happy and calm and fed that talk for my daughter. And so I did a lot of healing, it took a lot of help. I got a lot of help to be calm and better. You can't do it by yourself.
Yes, yes, she's 100% right. You can't do it by yourself. And that's one of the biggest things of the Cheetahs movement is that us to empower other women, women who, whether it doesn't matter their age, doesn't matter the situation or circumstance, it matters about what they've lived through and what they are suppressing because they feel so much of that guilt and shame, isolation. And to me, that is one of the biggest, as humanity as a whole, that's one of the biggest things that's going to deteriorate our life expectancy rate because of the fact we do not thrive in isolation. And everyone heals differently. I'm not saying everyone has to heal out loud like this.
Like good isolation can be too much sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's moderation. It's dripping connection because it is scary getting back out there, especially with creating friends. But this book, as we're in volume 2 coming up, we're searching for more survivors, more women who have a story that they want to put out there. And I just encourage anyone, who is at Crystal's, where she's at in her life, she just wanted to heal, she wanted to stop being angry. If you're at that point, this book can be part of something for you to go on this journey with us because we're also going to be putting in the safe haven shelters. We want to help women see that this is not it. It's so cliche to say, you're better now. It's going to get better now. I hear that. We've heard that. But this is how. This is how it's going to get. Like, this is the road now. Because Rachel's a successful business owner. She owns 2 businesses. She runs Mile High Boxes and then her cleaning company. And, she also does financial life insurance, so GFI. So she does quite a few things, but it's to teach women through these stories that just because you're in a shelter now, or if you're in addiction, or, heaven forbid your kids taken from you right now, there's more to it after. But if you stay stuck in that situation of the mindset of it's misery loves company, right? So if you stay stuck in that pity party of like, this is all I deserve, like, this is what I get, or you believe those old records that were played to you through your whole life, most likely in different forms, you're not going to move where you need to be. And you're going to be stuck in that cage, whether it's a new boyfriend that comes along that abuses you, or you fall back into another addiction, or say, heaven forbid, you fall back into another thing malicious. It always comes in forms of whatever doesn't serve you doesn't deserve you, and then it will trap you. And that's why, for me, with this book, so volume 2 will be a little different. But I'm going to put some more work in there of teaching how I have one thing in here called TRIP. It's a way that we analyze conflict and the way we see, is this something that is happening to me? Or is this something that happened because of my behavior? And so that's the thing. We have to take accountability, but I will highlight this. We do not have to take accountability what somebody else maliciously and physically did to us after we wanted to stop. after we wanted to be free, what anybody did to us after that, after we voiced, after we tried to escape, after we did all that, that's all that. We don't have to take accountability for that. But yes, we do take accountability for those toxic behaviors we had that attracted these type of people in our lives that then we didn't want to go because we were enabling, because we thought they would change. And the biggest thing I guess I want to say to the crowd is if you're currently in a relationship, I want you to check these three things. Have you voiced yourself about anything? And if you have voiced yourself about anything, what has been that response? Has it been cordial? Has it been manipulative away from what you were voicing about? Or has it been redirected into love bomb, subsidizing something else, minimizing it? You know, those are not the best signs. If you can't voice yourself, then you're already in a relationship that's not going to go anywhere far, but down a dark path, unfortunately. And one of my best advice to is get a therapist. Whether I don't care if you don't believe in therapy, do creative healing. You know, I do paint pouring. I have a shaman. I also have a hypnosis therapist. I have done it all. Just like Crystal, you know, it takes a lot of work. So I just want to express that Crystal's amazing and that she's done a lot of work. She's done some things that I don't think that I could do, even though the work that I do is intense. You know, I do it for other people that are stuck in really horrific, heinous situations, but this was for children. And this was her personal life. And she shared it to be inspiration for other women stuck in these cycles. And there's not, well, your story is worse than mine, or my story is worse than yours. It's not a competition. Reminding everybody about, oh yeah, this happened and you did this, you know, remind everybody that they can also overcome it and they could also move forward. Yeah. So with that, I want to say I love this though. This is the first time I'm really getting to be like this. You don't know how much work you do sometimes until you actually stop yourself and look at it. I want to say this. So it says this in her chapter. If I could speak to the version of myself back then, I would tell her to learn how to love herself unconditionally so nobody else could take her for granted. It was my children's safety that truly woke me up. It was one thing when I was allowing it to happen to me, but it became different when it began affecting my children. A lot of women depend on their partners financially and emotionally, but I do not believe I ever could again. I'm a strong single mother doing the work, figuring it out along the way. Even though I'm still healing, I'm not stopping. I'm taking on the mile high with my mile high bosses and many other business models I've built, including my cleaning business and working with GFI to show my children their mom did not give up or settle, even when there was nothing left and times were tough. This is only a brief of my story, and I hope this story and many others are what many survivors can finally turn to and unite around to be the change the world needs, to take on the world to show others still stuck in the cognitive dissonance of it all or isolating in the healing. You are not alone. You are seen, heard, and deserve to be understood, not judged, and capable of so much more than what you've ever been served with. And that is the end of Crystal's chapter. On that note, it goes a lot deeper, but that was just like a brief. So thank you so much, Crystal. This movement is just the beginning. Yeah, I absolutely love what Conquer for Me is about. Just shout out to you really quickly because you are in it. The work you have to do with these women to even allow them to be comfortable enough to talk to you, like that alone is a skill alone. And I'm the type of person that I don't just open up to nobody. So it's all, you know, thank you. I really don't know you're gonna make me cry. Oh my God. Girl, thank you. Thank you. Have some amazing skills. And I can't wait to share this story so other women out there can get in contact with you and maybe you can be their voice too. Yeah, definitely. Thank you. I'm pitching this hard because I want us to get on that stage and speak to these investors and these people who are funding these safe havens. And on that, I just want to close with one more note. We are officially launching our safe haven back up. So we are now taking in survivors. You can reach us out at conqueredformelimited.org and hit the help tab, fill your intake, and someone will reach out with you. We will be opening up in August. So that's this big movement also that's going on right now with this. So give us grace, give us peace, but know that we're doing work in the back and we're doing everything we can to save more women and children. Thank you so much, Steve, guys. Thank you, Conquered for Me. Thank you, Big Sarah.